As you grow up, you're gonna face many challenges in your life. You know, hardships, breakups, loss of family members, other things like that. Um, and then you're gonna start to question yourself. Could I have done better? Could I have changed the situation, the outcome? The one thing that, people shouldn't do is, harbor that resentment, that anger, you know, that feeling that, maybe if I was a little better, I could have changed something. I speak for myself. I'm a victim of doing this myself. So the one thing you have to do is you have to let that shit go. You have to let it go. It's not good to harbor that resentment. Recently, I've been dealing with some of this stuff of my own. Maybe if I was a little bit better, maybe if I trained a little bit harder, maybe if I was a nicer guy, I wouldn't have went through all this. Maybe if I was a little stronger, some of my, I would have had more of my family here. You had to let that go. Instead of wasting, your energy wondering what if, maybe I could have changed that situation. Instead of wondering what if, and using that energy thinking about what could have been different. Use that energy to become a better person. So that the next time a situation like this occurs, you're prepared for this. That way, so if the situation occurs again, you're able to handle it. Handle it better than the first time it happened. Maybe if you put a little bit more effort in, it's not good to harbor those feelings, because in the end, you're not supposed to live with any regrets. You're supposed to live your life to the max, to be happy and stuff. It's just not good to harbor those feelings. I myself, with situations that I've dealt with, growing up, I've harbored anger, resentment, things like that. Wondering, maybe if I was a better guy, people would treat me better. But it's not good to think like that. You have to you have to take that, and then you have to grow from it. You can't shut down from that. You can't start to become an angry person, because that's when you start to ruin your life. That's when you start to change, and that's when your life becomes worse, and then you'd have to deal with more of these situations.